Oh, Joseph Carabas here, sharing with you what has worked in various things that I've read. Uh, I'm sharing stories and fiction and nonfiction that I've read that has taught me something about writing, that has given me insight into what good story crafting, good storytelling is all about. Today, we're going to be reading from Fritz Leiber's A Pail of Air. And an anecdote before I get to the actual story. I first encountered A Pail of Air when I was double digits, but early double digits, 10, 11, or 12 years old. And I remember reading it and feeling cold when I was reading it. I've read it probably a dozen times since then. And it wasn't until maybe the ninth or 10th reading that I was mature enough and sophisticated enough. Probably read it 6 weeks ago. That's when I finally got mature and sophisticated enough to recognize, to stop and go, what was it about this that made me feel cold? So here we go. Fritz Leiber's A Pail of Air. Pa had sent me out to get an extra pail of air. I just about scooped it full, and most of the warmth had leaked from my fingers when I saw the thing. You know, at first I thought it was a young lady. Yes, a beautiful young lady's face, all glowing in the dark and looking at me from the 5th floor of the opposite apartment, which hereabouts is the floor just above the white blanket of frozen air 4 stories thick. I'd never seen a live young lady before, except in the old magazines. Sis is just a kid, and Ma's pretty sick and miserable. And it gave me such a start that I dropped the pail. Who wouldn't, knowing everyone on earth was dead except Pa and Ma and Sis and you? And I still feel cold. We understand who the narrator of the story is right from the first sentence. Pa had sent me out. Okay, so it's Pa sent me out. It's a young male. I shouldn't say male. It's a young person, okay, because referencing his Pa. And sent me out, so we understand the education level, to get an extra pail of air. Huh? A pail of air. I just about scooped it full and most of the warmth had leaked from my fingers. So whatever it is that I'm doing, get this pail of air, it's sucking warmth out of me. And that gives you a sense of cold. When I saw the thing, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but I saw it. So we're building that sense of cold into the reader, and then we're adding the mystery, the thing. You know, at first I thought it was a young lady, which is just incredible foreshadowing if you know the story. Yes, a beautiful young lady's face, all glowing in the dark and looking at me from the 5th floor of the opposite apartment. Not close, not nearby, it's over there somewhere. Opposite apartment. And all of this is also setting the environment for you. So he is showing you, through the use of language, where you are, which hereabouts is the floor just above the white blanket of frozen air 4 stories thick. Again, it's got to be cold, frozen air. 4 stories thick. You may have an image of a building, and you know how tall 4 stories is, and that's how thick the frozen air is. I'd never seen a live young lady before, except in the old magazines. So he's telling us about the culture, about the society that he's in. Sis is just a kid, and Ma is pretty sick and miserable. We understand his home life. And it gave me such a start that I dropped the pail. Who wouldn't, knowing everyone on earth was dead except Pa and Ma and Sis and you? Now that's an interesting turn of phrase. Knowing everyone on earth was dead except Pa and Ma and Sis and you. The narrator started by talking about me, but now he's talking about you. So what happens in that last sentence in the second paragraph is he pulls you in because he's asking you a question. And he set the environment, he set the scene for you, he set the story for you. So you have a point, you have an option at this point. You can say, no, I don't want to read any further because this makes no sense to me. You're missing out if you do. Or you can just be caught in. knowing everyone on earth was dead except Pa and Ma and Sis and you. You are now in the story. You are now a person in the story. You are a compatriot with the narrator of the story. You're experiencing it with him. You're moving through with him. You are in his life. Phenomenal, phenomenally good storytelling. I can't say the same for all of Fritz Leiber's work, but when he hits it, by God, he hits it really well. So, A Pail of Air, Fritz Leiber. Enjoy.